Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This week's episode is a little different. It's my first ever Q&A. So instead of doing it like sitting in one location and just talking your ear off, figured let's get on the trail and answer some questions that you guys have sent. Stick around. So a while ago, I had posted that I was going to do a Q&A, and I never got around to it, unfortunately. But we're here, and we're going to do it now. And what I've done is compiled a list of 10 questions that were asked in my YouTube comments, on the Instagram page, and on the Facebook page. So I want to thank everybody who submitted comments and questions, and I'm just really excited to share some information with you guys. Hopefully it's something that is interesting to you and maybe helps you get outside and go on an adventure of your own, or just learn a little bit more about me. So let's get started. First question up, what do I do for a living? Well, I started my career many years ago at this point as a programmer, and would do web application development, things like that. Then I finally got my lucky break and was hired as a system administrator for New York State. Right now, I actually help manage a very large team of AIX and Linux administrators. It's a pretty excellent gig. I work with some extremely talented people, and I actually enjoy going to work every single day. So can't beat that. But that's what I do for a living. Question number 2 is, how do I carry my water on winter hikes? And the specific question was, how do I prevent it from freezing? Well, I'm a pretty simple guy. I mentioned in a video previously that I have converted from a bladder to water bottles. So what I do is I fill the water bottles with warm water, like lukewarm water, and I store them upside down on the side of my pack in wool socks. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. I haven't had any issues yet, but the caveat here is I stay in the lowlands during the winter, and I do my best to not go outside when it's going to be far below zero for the entire day. So might not be the best resource for winter water storage, but that's what's worked for me so far. So hopefully that answers that question. After my Northville Placid Trail series came out, I got a lot of questions about my hammock setup. Seems like there's a number of hammock campers out there in the community. So for me personally, I'm a hammock gear guy. I have an 11-foot zippered bug net, which is awesome. It has the hammock itself, and the bug net is fully zipped on both sides, and I can actually unzip it and tuck it away so that I can have a wide open hammock lay if I want. I also have the 12-foot Journey tarp from Hammock Gear with the doors on it. Incredibly awesome in severe weather, which we definitely tested that out on the Northville Placid Trail. And I put the tarp into the mesh sleeve that they have, so it's very easy to deploy and to clean back up, which is awesome, especially when you're going to put in 12 miles a day on the trail. For my insulation, I use a 20-degree Hammock Gear underquilt and a 40-degree pine down mass drop blanket. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, I like the top quilt. I don't like a sleeping bag or anything like that, so the pine down blanket, I don't know, I'll link it below. That's definitely my preferred choice of insulation on the top. That is a 3-season setup, and what I did learn was if it gets lower than like 25, 27 degrees during those 3 seasons, it's not going to be enough. So I've been researching a 0-degree setup for my insulation. Some money on that one. Well, we'll see. So yeah, I'm a hammock gear guy through and through. Question number 4 is actually a 2-parter. First part is, what's been my favorite adventure so far? It's a really tough question, but I think it's going to be the Northville Placid Trail. It was a toss-up between Northville Placid and the Cranberry Lake 50, and both of them are incredible adventures, and I'm very much looking forward to finishing the Northville Placid Trail this year. Fingers crossed everything works out the way we plan. And B, revisiting both the Cranberry Lake 50 and the NPT again and again and again in the future. Beautiful country, an amazing hiking, so pretty excellent. The second part of that question is, what's my bucket list hike? And for a very long time, we're going to keep moving here. For a very long time, I thought it might actually be the Appalachian Trail. And I think my bucket list has changed a little bit, and not to discount the AT, but I am really considering figuring out a way to do the Colorado Trail or the Arizona Trail. I've done some research on them, and both of those really hit me right in the brain and the heart, as something that would be excellent, a very fun adventure to go on, and I'm very much looking forward to maybe making that happen. We'll see. Question number 5 is in regards to the infamous chicken incident of the Northville Placid Trail. The question was, how long did that chicken actually last, and did I get sick? Well, as you've seen from the series, the first part of my adventure, we did Northville to Wakely Dam. We did that in 7 days, and that night I had planned on getting a resupply. When I got the resupply, the chicken was gross. It was bad, not good. So less than 7 days, that's how long it lasted. And no, I did not get sick. I do have a stomach like a steel trap, so not really a surprise there. But I feel like had I continued to eat, whoa, some squirrels having a good time. Had I continued to eat that chicken after the resupply, we would have had some problems. I knew instantly when I looked at the resupply that the chicken was bad. So note, don't open those packets. And if you do need to get smaller portions, they have like these huge 10-pound cans of the freeze-dried chicken that you can get. That's probably a better choice, and it's a bit lighter. So I'll be doing a video on that this summer, I think. We'll see. But yes, the chicken incident. Don't break it up. Don't open those pouches until you're ready to use them. And no, I didn't get sick. Live and learn. Question number 6. Have you ever thought about doing the Catskill 35? And not only have I thought about it, it's actually on the list of things to do. Mark, who hikes with me as often as he can, he is definitely my 46er partner, and he and I are at the same 31 mountains of the Adirondack High Peaks, and our plan is to finish those up. Originally it was going to be this year, but pandemics happen, and we're trying to be socially distant and respectful of the Adirondack community, so the plans probably aren't going to happen until maybe next year. Fingers crossed, we'll see. Mountains aren't going anywhere, right? But after that, my focus is going to be on completing the Catskill 35. Now, interesting point, Mark has already done like 34 of them or something like that. So he is like right there, almost finished. And you know, I think it's definitely something he wants to get done as well. So yes, I will be attacking the Catskill 35 high peaks within the next couple years. So that'll be good. Stick around, those will be fun adventures. Question number 7. How do I research a new area before I go hiking? And specifically, is there an app or a website I use? Well, I actually use multiple resources. One of the things that I do when I'm trying to figure out where I want to hike is I look on Facebook and Instagram in a number of the groups that I belong to or hashtags that I follow, and I look for places that look interesting based off of other people's reports and pictures and videos. So that's kind of the secret. If it's not on a list of challenges that I'm trying to complete, or you know, a long distance trail that I'm very interested in, that's really how I find a lot of the places I go hike. Now, when I start researching them, you know, I'll look at my maps. I have maps for all of the Adirondacks, all of the Catskills, and surrounding areas. Check out those. I also use CalTopo to kind of map out the route and what the elevation profile looks like for the hike. So I always put that together in what I affectionately call the plan, capital T, capital P, and that's what I send out to any of my hiking partners or my wife, anybody that's interested in knowing where we're going, what we're doing, and how long it's going to be. So that's kind of what I do. And then from there, I just look online and look at maps, and I kind of decide what the best route's going to be. Really, the hardest thing is getting up so early in the morning and getting everything together and driving out to those places. There's a lot of resources out there. Hopefully you find that 80K Woods Walker YouTube channel, and Facebook and Instagram is a good resource for that, but it's definitely not the only one. So that's how I research hikes. I'm going to sit here and enjoy this bench and look at this pond while I answer the 8th question. And that is, what drives me to hike and what are my favorite parts of hikes? Well, what's driven me to hike has actually changed over the last few years. And I would say when I first started, it was that summit fever, right? The feeling that you get once you reach the top of the mountain and it opens up and you can just see for miles and miles in any direction. It's just an indescribable feeling, but it's super, super addicting. And once you get up there and you kind of you pop out and you get that view, your brain, the endorphins just go nuts, and all you can think about is getting back on top of a mountain and doing it again. So that was my drive for a long time. Then I started really appreciating the challenge, the actual the accomplishment of pushing my body mentally and physically to doing some of the more difficult hikes. That's not something that everybody gets a chance to do, but when I got to do it, again, very, very addicting feeling. And I really enjoyed it. Plus, it's really good for your body and your brain to just get out there and move. And when you're putting in miles and miles and miles, on top of the elevation changes, it's very healthy. So, as most doctors will probably agree. But these days, my main focus, what gets me out onto the trails and doing what I love to do, is my hope and my goal to inspire other people to get off the couch and do the same thing. I really want people to get out and do their own adventures. I'm a big guy. I'm not somebody who you would look at immediately and go, oh, well, yeah, he's a hiker. I sweat, I breathe heavy, it's hard, and I do curse. So I just want people to know that these are all normal things, and that they can also get out and do an adventure on their own, you know. So that's really what drives me to hike these days. What's my favorite part of the hike? That really depends. Sometimes it's getting to camp. That's always pretty awesome. Sometimes it's the summit still. I still get that huge thrill, an endorphin boost when I get up there and I can see forever. But, you know, a lot of times it's just a comfortable bench next to a pond or something like that. So, yeah, it's hard to say. Each hike has its own character, and I find something that's my favorite on every single one of them. So there you go. Hopefully that answers that question. Question number 9 is a terminology question. A lot of times I will reference something called the blue line. And if you're not familiar with the Adirondacks history or New York in general, the blue line is what I use to describe the border on maps of the Adirondack Park. It's just a term that we use specifically because of how it's outlined on the map. So anytime you hear somebody say the blue line, that is the boundary for the Adirondacks. Yeah, you know how much I love them. So sorry for any confusion, but yep, that's all it is. Something simple and easy. And the 10th and final question for today's Q&A is something that came in recently. What is your good news? I recently teased that I had some incredibly awesome news, and I'm going to use this opportunity to share it. So throughout the month of April this year, I showcased 2 local hiking spotlight videos every single week, and I had a really great time doing it. Wanted to really promote the hike local kind of hashtag or push or mantra, and it worked out really, really well. A number of the preserves that I visited in my area were managed by the Saratoga Plan, and this is a not-for-profit organization that runs a lot of preserves in the Saratoga County area. Well, they saw my videos, they liked my videos, and we have decided to work together to bring you and all of the plan's viewers a series of wildlife videos. And we're going to be recording them over the next bit of time. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, but there's going to be some really cool things. I'm going to be working with Bonnie, who I did an interview with when we were doing the Galway Preserve video, and she and I, we're going to work together, find some really cool places to witness and record some wildlife out on the trails. So I'm ultra excited about this. It's going to be a cooperative effort between the plan and the 80K Woods Walker, and yeah, I couldn't be more excited. So that's super good news. In my opinion, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be educational. And I'm so excited to get out and actually observe some of these animals. So it's going to be a great, great opportunity for everybody involved, I think. So I hope you'll stick around for that. But yeah, that was my good news. Pretty good, right? All right, and that is the end of our very first Q&A video. I actually had a lot more fun doing this than I thought I was going to, so I really hope that it was informative and entertaining for you. If it was, go ahead, give the video a thumbs up. If you like videos about the outside and adventuring and hiking, backpacking, paddling, all the fun stuff, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We have something coming out almost every single week, and it's usually a pretty good time. So I really hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that I've inspired you to get outside and do something awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.